Yeah. And it just occurs to me as you're talking, one of the culprits that leads us en masse to key our identity into what we do. Think about any obituary you've ever read. Joel T. Smith, 67, of City, passed away. He was, the next paragraph, he was a this, 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 and this, right? What did he do for a living? That's the way society sort of says goodbye to those who have passed in a formal way. In an obituary, they put what they did for a living. And I think that maybe subconsciously can seep into us regardless of those other things that you've just talked about. It's a very interesting perspective. I hadn't thought about it before.
It's such a good point, and it makes me think, and you're absolutely right on about obituaries in newspapers. But think about the eulogy at church, right. Synagogue,
yep.
Spiritual place, whatever it is, tends to be a bit different. And that's when I think of John Fairfax. He was a man that was incredibly successful. He built the leading newspaper in Australia, became very wealthy, very influential. Yes, and they talked about that. But they talked a lot about his faith and what a good father and mother and what a good friend and what a good employee. I mean, people just said, this man was so kind. He helped me when I needed it. Gosh, other than funding nonprofits, there was stacks of people he just gave money to that weren't involved in organizations just because. So they were really focused in his eulogy on his faith and character and how much he was admired and liked. It wasn't like 90% Sydney Morning Herald in the eulogy. Yes, I'm sure that was there, but it was the other stuff. So you're right. I mean, there's a big difference between obituary, where we tend to key on what's my obituary, and maybe we'll talk about this later. Maybe we need to focus a bit less on the obituary in the paper and what do we want the eulogy to say?
Yeah. I've just written down something that we should trademark as part of Beyond the Crucible, and that's this: live for your eulogy, not your obituary.
Absolutely.
That is wisdom. And it leads, I did it to myself. That leads into the next point. And the next point 6 in this blog, is make a decision that you will no longer have your identity. Here's those words again, wrapped up. You will no longer have your identity wrapped up in what you do. Talk a little bit about why that's so critically important.
Life is about choices and decisions.